hey, we'll get into what you've been playing. And as we do every time, we kind of reintroduce it because we cut it out for people that don't listen to the whole show, I suppose. Carlos Macias, the master of what, Dalan?
Articulation.
Of articulation.
Carlos Articulator Macias.
I keep trying, man. I'm not trying to say I'm the best at it or good at it, but I keep trying, man.
Hey, man, you're an interpreter.
Imagine. See, that's the thing. That's the key. When I interpret, I'm taking others' messages and just getting that across. I'm not thinking. Well, no, I am thinking. I hope my employer is not like listening. Like, what
are you thinking right now?
What I'm saying is that's that person's message. Let me get it across. All right, Dale Blas, the king of Mid-Bay, thank you for joining us, sir. And Dalan Kirkwood as well. Dalan, let's get to something that I think people might want to listen to, man. Like, because it just came out this past Thursday. We both gameflied it. We both quickly found out it has co-op. So I think as long as you don't ditch me, Dalan, I'm willing to play co-op through it with you. And that's Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora. Let's start off with you, Dalan. What do you make of this thing so far, man? How far have you gotten in it?
This game actually hit those expectations that they were setting in the trailers, because they were touting it as like this beautiful, huge world that they were creating, making sure that you get all this foliage that you can actually run through, because, Pandora is a lush green planet with all kinds of things that are out there that could potentially kill you. And as soon as you get outside the building, it is immediately that. There's no doubt.
I was gonna say that is the leaving the vault moment. It has its own leaving the vault moment. If you guys have played Fallout, at least 3, I think maybe most of them, like you're inside of gray areas, like, oh, we're celebrating birthdays. 10 years pass by. It's like, now we have to leave this place, and then the vault opens, and you get that in Pandora. It's a straight ripoff. Like you're running.
I don't know about that.
It is. Think about it, Dan. You're running out of the gray drab. Like, we're orphans. We're orphaned Na'vi, which is kind of interesting. It's okay. It's a little ham-fisted kind of story going on. But there's a point where you're running towards the end of the tunnel, and the end of the tunnel is beautiful, green, and lush Pandora. So, can you agree?
Hey, humans are boring. But I will say this in regards to running through that facility at the very beginning is... It cracked me and the homie Ricky up because I was running through it, and you have to duck a lot because Na'vi are very tall. I was sliding through hallways most of the time, and I was like, "Can I stand up here?" I don't know. There was somebody that was talking in earshot of my character, and I was like, "Where is this person?" And I was like turning around trying to figure out who was talking to me. I had to look straight down. They were like on the floor.
Yeah, it gives you
fully standing up.
Kind of right off the bat, right? It gives you sort of a good sense of like place and like your character and how it fits, right, in the world, right? So the fact that when you get out into the world, like I'm free. I don't have to duck anymore. I don't know. Maybe we don't have to do some more ducking anymore, but it's okay. Right, so far the cutscene, it seems like they put some decent effort into it. It's basically like, if you guys have read up on it online, it is the Ubisoft formula, right? Like, it's very
it's still like Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's very Far Cry-ish, Assassin's Creed-ish, like open world, but it looks great. It looks like they put a lot of effort into it. And we're gonna play co-op. I told you though, Dalan, because last time we tried to do a co-op game, Gotham Knights, you just ditched me, and I was like, I sort of beat the game, and it's on wax, by the way, that you by mistake
accidentally beat the game. It was much shorter than I expected it to be.
Yeah, exactly. Whoopsie! I just beat the game.
Carlos, we could easily breeze through the rest of that game and beat it for you if you wanted to just spend like an hour just critical path.
Yeah, we'll see what's up, man. What did you say about this game though? You said, I don't want a critical path, but I also don't want to look at everything. You want a little bit of in between.
Oh, I said I don't want to just critical path, but I don't want to do everything. I don't need to do everything in that game. There's probably going to be way too much stuff to do because, again, it's Ubisoft.
It's Ubisoft. Yeah. But by the way, PowerPix already put the trophy guide of it. I was like, okay, how long will this take? I got about and they said 40 to 55 hours. I was like,
oh my god.
I don't.
No,
it's our co-op game though, Dalan. It's our co-op game. It could be a co-op game for a little bit.
Hey, no, for me, it's like I do want to do like a couple of side quests. I don't want to do every side quest. That's what it is. So if I pick up a couple of side quests and they're super doable at that moment, let's take a moment to appreciate the world that's there and go do a couple of side quests.
I'll wait by the critical path and catch up on Twitter, man. You tell me when you show up. But it is funny because if people don't know, and I didn't really know, I didn't really look it up. I didn't really care too much about the story, but it's kind of basically a side story that runs along the first movie, I believe, right? Because there's a Jake Sully name drop. There's like, Jake Sully just did this. He just betrayed us and that kind of thing, right?
So the game takes place where the whole facility thing at the very beginning. It's during the first movie. Period. Yeah. Okay. But then at the end of that period, it is Jake Sully. He has gone full native, that they like to call it, and he's taken down the whole RDA situation. So they put you in a deep sleep. So 16 years later, you come out of these pods, and you are now in this world that was created 16 years later.
I knew you would care about the lore so much, Dalan. But hey, somebody out there wants to know the story, I'm assuming, right? And that is basically, we're going to play it. We haven't unlocked co-op, or at least I haven't unlocked co-op quite yet. You have to get far enough. So you have to get far enough in. I think I'm maybe like 45 minutes into the game. But look, so far, the gameplay's nice. You got the bow, right? I got to the bow.
Eventually,
right
you get a bow. Yeah.
You're crafting arrows. You're doing all that. It seems like they put a decent effort. It's not. I put in my notes. It's not Game Mill. By the way, Game Mill is the Kong games, the Walking Dead Destinies. That's a scam. They're talking about games as a scam. Those are scams, dude. But yeah, they put some effort. We'll play it, right, Dalan? Well, I'm sure we'll talk about it.
This is one where they actually put some thought into what a Na'vi is and how they move, how they live, just their speeches and mannerisms. They took James Cameron's whole language that he had created and they implemented it into this game. So there's some effort put into it. We'll play some more, right? See how further thoughts that we have on it so far. Makes a good first impression, right? It looks great, plays pretty well, so the other thing is, before we get to Dalan's kind of he's gonna kind of finish us off over here. Deo, me and Deo, phrasing. Me and Deo have been playing Spider-Man 2, so we'll go with you. I believe you just finished this game. I think you're the third person on the pod. So 75% of the podcast has beat Spider-Man 2, I believe. But what do you make of it? Try to being that 25%.
Look, this forces me to.
Wait, you haven't finished yet?
I haven't finished it. I haven't. I saw your tweet that you're like, oh, I just finished. But I was like, whoa, Dale, what's the screenshot, man?
Oh, it's shit. Okay, it's a good thing you said something, because I would have been like,
I can't look at
it.
But I feel like we can soon enough. Let me beat it, and let's just do spoilers, right? I feel
let me ask you, where are you at, Carlos?
Yeah, right. What chapter are you on?
The thing says 12-15%.
Dude, what's the last thing you did?
That's a map. That's the map, though.
Oh, that's the map?
That's the map.
I just got past let's see, Harry's lab, like a mission or two after that, after going to Harry's.
After you toured the huge facility that he made?
The huge facility where you feed the fish and whatever else.
You're feeding the fish, you look at all the new inventions that are coming through.
I was impressed by the reflections on some of the glass in that place.
So you're like half. A little bit halfway, almost halfway.
Hey, look, I'm gonna make it my mission, and let's spoilery next week. But for now, give what do you think? Non-spoilery, Deo. For what do you think?
Yeah, I did love the original Spider-Man. I thought that was one of the greatest superhero games ever created, and I do love Batman. I love Arkham Asylum so much, but Spider-Man, to me, as a character to play with in the world that they created, it just gelled way better. And in this one, they just
fleshed him out,
every single aspect of it. It's so good. And the fact that we needed to play.
Did you try out Gotham Knights? Have you tried it? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Gotham Knights.
The latest one. I feel. I think we've talked about it on Wax, right, Dale? But I think Gotham Knights is. It understandably, it got some hate, and a lot of it probably deserved. But it's still kind of nice. The cutscenes are there, the gameplay is there, and it's on Game Pass / PlayStation Plus, whatever it is, Dale. Sorry to kind of interrupt you there. I say mess with it if you were that big of a fan of the Batman games.
If I really
we could play it with you.
But that's the bad thing about it. It's just I'm not into the books as much, so I don't know who I'm playing with, and I don't really care. I don't know why.
Fair.
Oh,
fair.
snaps!
I don't
you
either
didn't watch
though.
any of the animated movies, nothing.
You know, I don't give a fuck about the lore, Dale. I don't. It's, some of the times, like, who is this Dale? It's like, oh, they're the owl. It doesn't matter, but it's cool. It looks cool.
He keeps asking me
It
who
looks
Jason
cool.
Todd is. I'm like,
It
you
looks
don't know
cool.
who Red Hood is, and I will tell you
I know that's
every
Reddit,
single
yeah.
time.
See,
if he doesn't know who Red Hood is.
If you at least know that, Dale, I think you're gonna be good, man.
Like I only have so much information that I could store up here, and I can't do it all for everything. It's just like, you know, if I need it, then I need the information. But like Spider-Man's just a classic tale that I know about, and with the upcoming of Miles Morales into everything, like he definitely needed his own game to segue into this game, and it's great how they did it. I think it's fantastic. It's because and I think Miles Morales at this point is just like, wow, you're a great Spider-Man. Like I didn't think anyone could top Peter Parker or anything, but I feel like he's this like next generation's like Spider-Man because they could relate more to him, which is awesome too.
And it's pretty cool because even in like the movement and everything, right? He moves different than Peter. He talks different. You know, like, he's got a cooler vibe. I would say better vibe.
He brings a different culture to the game.
Very much so. Like Peter Parker is such a nerd that I just like cringe each time he makes jokes sometimes. But that's his shtick, right? Is to make jokes while he fights.
Yeah, that's his stick, and that's the Peter Parker we've known forever, right? So it's okay to move on a little bit,
yeah. So it's nice, like, to break the pacing with that, with like Miles Morales, who's just like a little cooler. Like his music is different when he starts playing, when you start playing as him too. So it's just like, this is cool, and you could go back and forth between both of them, and I love how the upgrade system is pretty straightforward. And you could upgrade both of them and unlock like suits at a regular clip, especially if you go through the story. Where you're at right now, like if you mainline the story, you could do it easily within like a good 2-day sitting. Like honestly,
okay. I'm gonna make an effort. So maybe next week we could do a little Spider-Man 2 just spoilers, and hopefully Luis is on and all that. But no, I mean I don't have too much else. Like I played a couple more missions. I'm impressed by the graphics. It's very much like one of those things. Oh, go ahead, Dale.
Like I would say the graphics are great. The problem is that I've run into like so many bugs. Like even in this state right now when it's
you ran into bugs in it.
Oh man, yeah.
Really?
So I've run. I've ran into
scared me.
2 game-breaking ones where like I'll fall through the floor and like I'm stuck somewhere, and I'm trying to take out the Craven Hunters. I'm trying to take them out like stealthily, right?
Yeah. That's normally where it broke for me. That happened to me twice too.
Twice. Right? I don't know what it is, but like it would just like I would do a spider strike or whatever, or web strike straight at him, and then like if I would try to be next to a different wall or try to cling onto a different wall, I'd fall through geometry and I'd just like break everything. So I had to restart. But like luckily the autosave, catches you a lot of the time. There are other parts where like the AI acts like so weird, like the birds. There's these metal birds that float around and everything.
I do know.
They won't even notice me like half the time, even though I'm like staring them like straight in the face.
He's like, I'm swinging right next to you. You have no idea it exists.
I have had awkward. Like scripting issues where it's like I obviously murdered everyone, but there's like a random noise over here, and it doesn't like move forward. To be able to get the next little activity, but I think for the most part it's pretty frictionless, right? I think it goes up there. Yeah. I think it goes up there.
I mean, it's definitely frictionless. Right. It's a big game, and they have a lot more boroughs this time in New York, so it makes a lot of sense. Did you do the Howard mission, by the way, the Pigeon Howard mission yet? Do that one.
I don't think so. Okay. There's some that I should do. Okay.
That's tied to That's tied to trophies, so you're probably gonna do it anyway. So.
I'm getting close.
Sandman.
I'm getting close to. I might have to like in the new year go back for trophies, man. I think I might just, but I'll consider that if there's one or two.
It's easy enough.
If there's one or two, okay. I'll see what's very quick, and I'll leave the things that might take me a little more because I gotta get to other games, man. But look, as far as like my thoughts on it, I played it a little bit more. Like I said, I'll dedicate some more time for sure this week. It's some of the funny things that I noticed is there's a lot of carrying people and swinging around this time. I don't know if that was like common in the first game. And the other,
that's new. That's a new thing.
That's like a new thing, right? It's kind of weird.
Let me know. No, having it happen so much is new, but it was honestly in the first and second game. Yeah. But this time it's like you're doing little side missions where you didn't even know you had to carry somebody. You're just like putting out fires, and
now
then suddenly
I'm
there's a
doing
body
this.
there. I gotta save this person. All right, let me take you.
I just thought that's like a funny thing, right? There's a lot of people getting carried. We should be Ubering these people or something, charging them for the ride.
But you know what they took out that I appreciate is the car chases when you're supposed to stop cars that you're chasing.
Oh, man,
they took out all the little extra things that you had to do around it, because
like
that would mess me up so much.
Yeah, there's
so that was much better.
The other quick point that I thought was kind of amazing is this SSD is getting worked, man. Especially like through there's the mission with the Black Cat. And you're going through it like it was Ratchet and Clank for me,
cool.
right? I was like,
fun.
this is amazing. This gotta be like taxing the system a little bit, right? That you're as suddenly like you're in New York and then all of a sudden you're in Antarctica or wherever you are, some kind of cold place. I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is kind of nice. So that's kind of things that impresses me. It's definitely up there, man. As far as like when we get to these Game of the Year talks, I think hopefully it keeps it up. Cause look, honestly, like the one thing I kept thinking, I was like, I understand. Like let's say like there's a Baldur's Gate 3 that got Game of the Year, probably deservedly so at the Game Awards, but it's like, what if I try to go back to like as a child, I can't imagine like my mind being blown even like more than what you're seeing with like Spider-Man or last year with God of War Ragnarok. And that's kind of always what I keep in mind. I know it's a little shallow, right? And it's kind of like people like, oh, you can't just keep thinking about the graphics, but I keep thinking about the graphics and
you can't think about the graphics.
And the frictionlessness and the just straight up fun, man. Like I just want to keep playing it. And there's
like, I'm gonna go to my 12-year-old self and say, there's no load screens. No load screens.
No load screens. They're just gonna get there. And I think So we'll see. We'll see what I'm gonna keep playing it. Dalan, we'll kind of end it with you, man. What are the last couple games you've been playing on your own?
Two of them I had actually mentioned a couple of times. Remnant 2, I'm getting there. I'm almost done with this game. I don't even have to play it that long. But I wanted to bring up Remnant 2 first because it was actually obviously the bigger game out of the ones that I've been playing. And Carlos, I know that again you're against the roguelike thing, but again, you don't feel the roguelikeness at all. There's basically 5 worlds there, right? As soon as the world is there, the game knows exactly where you're going to go in that world. You have the beginning, middle, and end, and then you go on to the next world. However, they randomize which dungeons are generally in those worlds. That's generally the difference. But they have 2 versions of all these worlds, and you could re-roll them. And I went back and I re-rolled this world. I was like, this is a completely different world. There are places I had never heard of, people I had never seen. There's a city of, there's a council of elders in this one. Never even heard of these guys. And now I'm doing completely different quests, going into completely different dimensions. The game has a lot to it, and it's extremely fun. It's not like you're dying and getting set back. It's more like if you play Dark Souls and they randomize where they place things. Did you guys ever play Legend of Mana? Did you ever play Legend of Mana, Carlos?
I never
think it was on PlayStation.
I think so. Yeah.
You know how in Legend of Mana, when they give you the little cities and they say, go ahead and place it on the map. Right? That's what this feels like. You will have a different map than other people, but you would generally go the same places. In this case, you could re-roll a map and get a completely different world sometimes, and it's still fun to roll through. And you can do this co-op too.
What I'm feeling, Dalan, is good thing.
I heard it's a lot of fun.
It is.
Good thing this is free, man. I'll give it a shot for free.
Remnant 2 is currently free, and I will be more than happy to join you and help you run through it. You don't even need me to run through it, but I will help you run through it because it's also fun to do it with an extra body. All right, so
it's a co-op game. It's a co-op game to mess with.
It's a good co-op game to mess with because you could join somebody else's world and be in a completely different place you've never seen. I went and tried to do Vampire Survivors. I didn't get to play it a lot, but I know that it has like 3 different mini stories for the DLC. It was a little struggle to actually get the DLC on there because it says go to the store. You go to the store and all it does is bring up the DLC and you're like, well, what the hell do I do with this? I eventually figured it out. You just got to do an update. Just go update it, even though the game says it has no updates available. Just go update it anyway.
Just do it. Just don't follow the instructions.
Just don't follow the instructions. I went to the updates. I said, update it anyway. And it updated some stuff. I was like, okay, I'm fine with this. But they obviously they added more stuff to it. They added a guy that literally cannot get hit. He's just invincible. So you can go do some of the stuff very easily. But when you actually go and do the mini stories, you don't get the invincible guy. You have to actually play through smaller mini stories where you start out with a specific character and you have to go through this small enclosed story finding these other characters, and you level up as you go, and it's
free, right? Free little update, right?
They're free updates. You get all if you have the other 2 DLC, you also get those 2 free updates. If you don't have the DLCs, you're only going to get one of the updates. All right. So aside from Vampire Survivor, which I'm going to get more into over the next week, I started playing I Am Setsuna because people have told me that this was an excellent RPG. I have not gotten far enough into it.
What is this on? What console is this on?
I think it originally dropped on PS4.
Yeah, PlayStation 4 at the time.
Yeah, it originally dropped on PlayStation 4. And I gotta say, even though it looks like an older game, it plays like a newer game. It is like they took old school RPG of you running on the world map, running in small dungeons, and they brought it into the new era. Because just as an example, you know how sometimes you're running through a desert and you want to see if you leave footprints? You're definitely leaving footprints. You're leaving snow trails. You're leaving footprints. You're seeing the rain. All the graphics are definitely there. They put all the graphics in this time, Carlos.
Okay. Why'd you decide to play this?
I've been meaning to play it for the longest time. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like I know it's a good RPG, but I need to try it, and I'm glad I did because after I was done playing I Am Setsuna, I only played it for like 30 minutes. After I put it down, it was like 3 a.m., so I had to go to bed, and that was like all I could think about. It was all I could think.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Is it Square Enix did that one?
Yeah, it's a Square Enix game. Okay. So it's like they took their RPG and kept it in form. So
all right,
yeah, I say Dalan, if you like RPGs, play it.
Has that been a show, Dalan? What do you think? We'll hear from you next week, right?
What I think is that this whole production is a work in progress, good sir.
What production? Salient Points? Salient Points.
Salient Points.
Look, it's been in production for a little while. We try to tweak it a little bit, and I'm always kind of like, okay, what else can we do with it? And I'm always
Episode
up for
132. We're still trying to figure it out.
Look, the idea here, I want you guys to have fun, all right? I want you guys to have fun. If you guys have fun kind of hanging around, that's all I want to do here. Carlos Macias, the master of what? Pronunciation? Is that what you said, Dalan?
Articulation.
Articulation. Macias. Deo Blas from up in the mid-bay, not in the mountains, for the king of mid-bay, Deo Blas. You're going to be down around town. Can we say that on
Max,
Deo?
So okay. I'm going to be there. Yeah, I'm going to be there Sunday. Okay. Maybe we should record because I'm definitely going to be MIA Monday.
Okay, yeah.
Unless you want to delay
Quick question. I know I'm actually just bringing this up out of the blue, but last I checked, you were going to Disneyland. Did you already do that?
We can say that. We can say that off wax.
No, I'm doing that on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why you're not going to be available. Period. All right. You got to let us know how that goes after you go to Disneyland.
Let's get off wax, and but he'll be around town. There might be maybe a picture of us hanging out finally after I don't know how long you've been on the podcast for a little while now, right?
2 years. 2 years.
It's been a good while, man. It's been a good little run here. So we'll finally get to meet up in real IRL. Looking forward to that. Dalan Kirkwood from up in the mountains. Thank you, sir, for showing up this time around.
The rotating crew that is us.
There you go. All right. We'll see you guys. But the little hype. I'll do it. All right. Latest.